This is gonna blow your mind. News, ghosts, travel, and pop culture all in one show. Ready to dive in? Let's go. From breaking headlines and eerie encounters to epic European adventures and the latest pop culture craziness, nothing's off limits. Robert, Crew, and Julie bring shock, laughs, and those wait, seriously, moments every episode. Hit subscribe, join the fun, and ride the chaos with us. This is the Robert and Crew Show, Season 7 Unleashed.
We have some breaking news.
You know what keeps me going out here? A cold Dr. Pepper and a great podcast like the Robert and Crew Show.
All right. Welcome back to the Robert and Crew Show. As always, I'm your host, Robert.
And I'm your co-host, the Flash Crew.
And I'm your co-host, Julie.
All right, calm it down, Grant Guston.
Well, I like Wonder Woman.
Okay, I've heard enough. Wonder Woman.
Calm down, the deep dive.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, tonight's title of the show is...
No.
DC Series Part 3 Justice League Deep Dive.
No, there's no deep dive in there. So, anyways.
I guess we're deep diving into Justice League.
Yeah, we're going to deep dive right into the deep end, right into the middle of the Justice League. Deep diving all boys into Batman, the Flash, the Lantern, everybody. We've taken a deep dive, a real deep dive.
Rob has a fascination with saying deep dive in every episode. It's annoying. I can't stand it.
No.
So,
and Wonder Woman. Don't forget Wonder Woman.
Okay, Gal Gadot, we hear you. Calm down.
Yeah. Okay, look. Yes. Wonder Woman, yes. But she's one of the 7. But she's not the main one. The main one is
Christopher Reeves?
No. Batman. Batman's the main one.
And Superman.
Yeah,
No.
Christopher Reeves.
No.
That's
Batman.
Superman. Christopher Reeves is super. Did nobody get my joke?
Yes, I got your joke. I got your joke. Yeah.
Superman.
But here's the thing. The main one of the face of the Justice League will always be Batman.
But Batman was a dick in the Justice League.
Yeah, he knew every single one of their weaknesses for collateral damage.
In the movies for Batman and the Justice League, who played Batman again? Was that Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He actually played a really good Batman.
Yeah. Well, okay, so out of all the Batmen, only a select few did a great job. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of them did their best. But there's only one person who actually pulled off a Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Christian Bale.
Nope.
Who?
Robert Pattinson.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to say new age, sure. I'll agree with you. Robert Pattinson did a pretty damn good job as Batman, and I thought he was going to destroy the role. I thought it was going to be terrible, and he really changed my mind about who he is, because whenever I hear about Robert Pattinson, I just think about fucking Twilight.
Well, you got to remember, he also played Cedric Diggory.
Yeah, but I don't think about that when I think about Robert Pattinson. The first thing that pops up in my head when I think about Robert Pattinson is motherfucking Twilight, and I hate it.
Edward Cullen from Twilight.
Yeah, Edward freaking Cullen.
The vampire who sparkles.
Yeah, the glittery vampires.
But anyways, besides that, he did a phenomenal job. Best Bruce Wayne will automatically go to Michael Keaton.
Oh, for sure. Hands down.
Okay, I disagree with all of this. You are really upsetting me right
Whoa! What's wrong with Michael Keaton as Batman? He did great.
Michael Keaton was a good Batman, but the best Batman to ever play the role, Christian Bale, changed my.
I'm not talking about Batman. I'm talking about Bruce Wayne.
I'm talking about Bruce Wayne, Batman. That is who I'm talking about.
Okay.
He played
Exclude Batman out. Exclude Batman. Exclude Batman.
I will destroy you. Christian Bale was by far the best Batman to ever play the role.
Okay. Exclude Batman. Bruce Wayne only.
Yeah, still Christian Bale.
Okay.
Okay, before we get into a full-blown argument, I have a question.
What's your question?
There's a cartoon, I don't know if it's part of the Justice League promotion or if it's separate, but these characters used to combine their powers.
The Wonder Twins.
No.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah, the Wonder Twins. Okay, the Wonder Twins, they were part of the Justice League in the animated series.
Maybe that's part of what I'm thinking about.
They had a monkey with them as well.
Yeah, okay.
So they did make a live action appearance in Smallville.
Okay, all right. But wasn't there an animated version of it too?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking of the animated one.
Smallville, when they did an animated one for Smallville, it was just season 10, the comic. But with the Justice League, yeah, them. They were in Super Friends.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Justice League Super Friends. It is canon. It is very well known. It's a very old Justice League from the, I'd say 70s to 80s, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 60s.
Because I used to watch the one that came on in the 80s.
Okay.
You know, superhero doesn't get enough freaking recognition.
It doesn't. But that just came to my mind, so I wanted to ask y'all that because I'm like, where'd it come from? I forgot.
Yes. Justice League Super Friends is a very well known cartoon. It's not very well talked about like it used to be.
But it's very well known, and I loved it. That was one of my favorites.
Yes. It is a good one. But the Wonder Twins, yes. I want to get into this information real quick because I have a lot.
No. You wait. I'm going to show you who I think should have been in the Justice League but wasn't cool enough to become part of anything.
Okay.
It upsets me because I wish that DC or Marvel would have picked up this character or paid to have this character because he was my favorite character of all time. Just for comedic relief. Captain Planet.
I love Captain Planet. Yes.
You want to know something funny?
Yes, that's it.
You want to know something
funny?
The actor, this is a Marvel-related topic. The actor who played War Machine, right?
Yeah.
Not Terrence Howard, the other one.
Yeah.
Played in like a parody.
Okay.
And it's funny. But let's get into the information real quick. So it is a lot. And okay, let's see here. I gotta scroll up because
what's going on, Lisa? We're doing pretty good today.
What?
We have somebody in Kick talking to us.
Oh.
We're just going over DC and the Justice League.
Yeah, part 3. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, part 1 was over the Bat Family. Part 2 was over the Tea with Mr. J and Harley. from last season. But
yeah, W Justice League. Elmster says W Justice League. Hell yeah.
Cool.
okay.
Welcome back, Elmster. We missed you the last couple of days.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Now to the rich history that the Justice League has, because it is very big. Starting with the first comic appearance, The Brave and the Bold, issue 28 in 1960, where they took on Starro the Conqueror. Core members Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter formed the team, often called the Big Seven. Over decades, the roster grew, with additions like Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Cyborg, depending on the era. DC Comics has run multiple series like Justice League of America, Justice League International, and the New 52's Justice League. Which, by the way, I'm going to add, the New 52 Justice League was the best comic book series of all time. Do you agree with me on that, bro?
Which one?
New 52.
New 52?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know if I can say greatest of all time, but it's really good.
Well, for comics, it got more darker for the New 52.
Okay.
From cosmic epics to grounded heroics, stories often pit them against threats like Darkseid, the Legion of Doom, or the Anti-Monitor, with iconic arcs like Crisis on Infinite Earths and Justice League Tower of Babel on TV. The Justice League shown in animation, the 1973 Super Friends series, while campy, introduced the team to a generation with its Hall of Justice and Wonder Twins. The real standout in the early 2000s Justice League animated series by Bruce Timm, later expanded into Justice League Unlimited, which that was a really good Justice League series.
Which series was it?
Unlimited. It blended deep character work with sprawling threats like Amazo or the Canmus arc, and featured a massive roster. Other shows include Young Justice, a really good one, which focused on sidekicks but tied to the League, and the 2018 Justice League Action, a lighter, kid-friendly take with short episodes, movies. The 2017 live-action Justice League film had a rocky production. Zack Snyder's vision was altered by Joss Whedon's reshoots, leading to a mixed reception. The 2021 Snyder Cut restored his darker, longer take, earning better fan response. Animated films like Justice League, The New Frontier, and Justice League War adapt classic comics with tighter focus across comics and shows. The League's core is teamwork / heroes with clashing personalities uniting for the greater good. Each version tweaks the vibe, but the stakes are always high with its saving Earth or the multiverse. There you have it.
Zack Snyder's Justice League was pretty good, but it was pretty freaking long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, here's the thing. I didn't like Joss Whedon's version.
How come?
It was not as good as Zack Snyder's.
Yeah.
Right.
But I loved watching the Super Friends Justice League back in the 80s when I was a kid. And they would always have powers combined. I love that. It was cool. And then
Well, that's just the Wonder Twins. We can't just pinpoint just on the Wonder Twins. You got so many heroes, Julie, that all should get focused on.
yeah,
as
but
well in
I
that
just
show.
remember them a lot. But I loved Wonder Woman.
That's
Gal
a really
Gadot.
good Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot.
And then I grew up with what's your name?
I don't remember.
Carter. No, Linda Carter. The
Okay.
old one.
Yeah, she did good, but when it comes, she did great in the older days.
Yeah. And I am older than you guys. I remember some of the stuff.
Right. But the thing is, with the newer generation, they're not going to remember her as Wonder Woman.
Oh, no, not at all.
They're going to remember her from Supergirl.
Yeah.
Which is part of the Arrowverse. And she does not play Wonder Woman. I can't remember who she played on that show. But Gal Gadot is one of the best Wonder Woman of all time. Because, why, bro?
Why is she the best? I just think she's a really good actress.
That, but also because she fits the role.
Well, yeah, she's like a perfect, stunning Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did pretty good. I liked her too.
But
who doesn't like Wonder Woman? To be able to have superpowers like she does, that was cool.
Now I do agree with Elmsta about Static Shock.
Oh yeah, he said that he wishes they would have put Static Shock into the Justice League.
But Static Shock did get recognition on Young Justice.
Okay.
Which is the sidekicks that form their own version of Justice League, just called Young Justice. And it's better than Teen Titans.
Okay.
But
then we had Batman and Superman too.
Bro, can you pull up a picture of Young Justice?
I'm already doing that, bro. I don't know how you knew I was doing that, but yeah, I already have it coming up right now. I've been pulling up stuff the entire time you've been talking.
Well, you see, I can't see whenever I'm reading. Yeah, so this is Young Justice. This is Phantoms. And I believe this was the last season. I believe. I'll have to recheck because it's been a while since I've watched Justice League or Young Justice. Young Justice was one of my favorite animated series because when it first came out, I was kind of hoping it would have been better than the original Teen Titans cartoon.
Yeah.
But if you've seen the darker Batman movies plus the darker Teen Titan movies that fit that quote coexist together, like Justice League Dark and all that.
Yeah.
That whole series fits along the lines with Young Justice because they're both dark.
Right. That makes sense.
Red Tornado of the Justice League becomes like their mentor on the show. But it show how it goes for Young Justice. It starts out with the four main ones. You got Batman, then and then his sidekick,
Robin.
Dick Grayson, Robin. Then you got Superman, Superboy. Then you got the Flash, Kid Flash,
And Wonder
and
Woman.
then you got Green Arrow. No, not Wonder Woman.
No.
Green Arrow plus Red Arrow, and then
Did this guy
Martian
ever get
Manhunter
involved?
brings in Blue Beetle.
Yes.
Great movie.
I know Blue Beetle was in Young Justice. I know that for a fact. But did he ever make it into Justice League?
I don't believe so.
Don't remember.
I don't believe he did, but
So sad because Blue Beetle was such a good character.
But the original Blue Beetle, Ted Kord,
Yeah.
was part of Justice Society of America.
Yeah.
No, not just
Well, one of them was in.
Oh yeah,
Young
Justice Society.
in fact.
So here's the difference between Justice League and Justice Society. Justice Society is more of like the 1940s kind of like era, from like the 1950s. Justice League is more like from the 1960s to the 21st century.
Right.
But we'll go over like Justice Society on a different part for DC series. Yeah. Now, here's something that a lot of newer generation don't know. Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman were part of the Justice Society. So was
Flash.
Hawkman and Hawk Girl.
There's Flash too.
Oh, that's Jay Garrick.
Yeah, that's still Flash.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you want to call him. Yeah, no.
Oh, well, there's different. There, you got to remember, there's different Flashes.
No, I know. I'm just saying he's a Flash.
Yeah. But he also just mainly goes as Jay Garrick. But
Is there a picture of what he looked like, the Flash? It's just been a while. Is there an actual picture of what he looks like now?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that thing was fast. I guess that's why they called him the Flash. But I just can't remember what he looks like right now.
Well, he wasn't just fast, Julie. He could go back in time, go in the future, he could travel to different universes. He could phase through objects.
Okay. It's been a while since I need to go back and watch some of the shows. It's been a while.
That's the Flash.
Ah, okay. Yeah. You can't forget the Flash in the red.
Oh, for sure. Flash was always my favorite.
Yeah, he was really good.
Oh, Pale was Elmsta's favorite too.
Oh, cool.
Mine also.
We all got something in common.
So, yeah, Jay Garrick and Barry Allen know each other very well.
Back when I was helping her run
Yeah, Flash and
run a little
Tumor.
booth at the flea market, I had bought a couple of comic, and I don't know if they were actually real comics, but they were like this comic book series. But they were worth some money for sure.
This
But
is
I
the
think
right
there
one,
was
Elmster, right? Hey, Elmster, this is the right comic, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, we got some vignettes for y'all. That is a good comic. I've read it before.
I need to find some more. I used to have some.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, not very many, but I had a couple. I always wanted to be, I had a lot of male cousins. I always wanted to be a part of their crew, a part of what they were doing. So I always tried to find stuff that I could relate to them with. So I'd always find something.
Right.
Just like when they were skateboarding.
I get it.
Here are the actors that I think should play the rest of the Justice League in the new DC universe. Starting off, I feel like the best option to play Batman Bruce Wayne is Jensen Ackles. I mean, his voice would be absolutely perfect. He looks the part in terms of being Bruce Wayne and Batman, and he already expressed interest in wanting to play the character, so I don't see why they don't just nab him now. Next, I'm going with a super popular fan cast, and that's Lucas Till as the Flash. He looks exactly like the character in the comics, and I guess if it can't be me, I'm okay with Lucas Till. He's absolutely perfect. For Aquaman, I'm going with Charlie Hunnam. He's got the comic book accuracy that we really haven't ever seen with this character in live action, while also keeping the grittiness that seems to be popular with Aquaman nowadays. For Wonder Woman, I'm going with Adria Arjona. I feel like I don't really have to explain this one. Just look at the accuracy. She would be absolutely perfect. Next, you have to have a Green Lantern on the team, and I feel like Jon Stewart would be the best option, and Aaron Pierre has already been cast as this character in the DCU. This is absolutely perfect. Here are the
I don't know how I feel about the Sons of Anarchy guy, but
I mean, honestly, we all know who did the best Aquaman. That was Jason Momoa.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
We're entering an era of multiple Justice League books, at least for a bit, time recording. Enter Justice League Red. The first issue was released in August 2025. It's written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Clayton Henry and colors by Arif Prianto. The Cliff Notes version of the premise is that Red Tornado is setting up a secret team, an offshoot of the Justice League for a looming what we'll call crisis because it's DC Comics. He's been running algorithms and they all end with the Earth's destruction, unless they get proactive. But in the computations he's run, it tells him that if he tells the main members, things also go wrong. So he's picked some lesser known people from the roster. In issue 1, he starts off recruiting Green Lantern Simon Baz and Power Girl. While they agree to help, they quickly become suspicious that everything isn't as he says when the target he sends them after is not what they expect. So let's quickly just discuss some things about this comic, and then I want to hear what you thought. It's great to see Simon at the fore once more. Yes, he's been doing stuff over in the Green Lantern Corps book, but he hasn't been really highlighted for a decent amount of time, to the point where you'll see posts on forums like Reddit about how DC just forgot about him. Well, they remembered, and now he's going to be a main character, at least for a little bit. Simon Baz fans are eating good this month. He's an interesting Lantern, so it's nice that he's being used. Now, some of his dialogue was fairly on the nose and overly expository, but on the whole, he came off as a character, and he still retains some of his base personality. He's still a bit hot-headed. Power Girl is back to being portrayed closer to her classic depictions, more confident and brash, which will be a breath of fresh air for those who didn't love her portrayal over in her own series, the one by Leah Williams, which recently finished up, time recording. There, she was a bit more uncertain, immature, and it played a lot more with Supergirl story beats. So far, it's just one issue, so we shall see where it goes, but she seems seems more in her leader type position. Her vulnerabilities are a bit less open. Although, for some who may have liked her being portrayed that way, they may not gel with this portrayal. Personally, I always like when she's more confident than Supergirl because it highlights the contrast between them and the fact that they are different. Now, having to question whether or not they can trust Red Tornado is not a new plot for the Justice League, but it can be quite compelling depending upon how they do it. Only the seeds were laid in this first issue, as well as some other players who are going to come in, so it remains to be seen how it's going to exactly unfold, whether it will deliver on the drama, and whether or not it can really sell the whole why is Red Tornado doing this, if it can really sell that suspense of is he on their side or not. I, for one, am happy to see some lesser utilized heroes getting highlighted, and with how much more interconnected the DC universe has been of late, these little sojourns can end up being pretty rewarding. I'm definitely glad I checked this one out, but I want to hear from you. What did you think? Did you check it out? Is it up your alley? Are you...
Okay, if you don't know, Julie, Power Girl is Supergirl in a different universe.
Okay.
But what Elsa just on, but I agree. I 100% agree.
No, what about the Marvel's art usually has more depth, but DC's seems more grounded.
Yes.
I like the art style of Marvel Comics, but I also really enjoy the art style of a lot of the Batman comics from DC.
Yeah.
Because, I grew up with the Batman stuff, and, some of my favorite comics were Batman comics. Batman issue number 25. I will never forget that comic. I owned that comic. I had that comic signed by the guy that did some of the artwork for it. So I think my dad still has them. And if my dad doesn't have them anymore, then somebody else has them. But I had a lot of cool comics back in the day. I loved the Batman comics. The Batman comics were my favorite. We also had The Laughing Joke because I went out of the way to buy that one. Absolutely loved it. I had a recopy of Batman #1, but not an actual original copy.
Okay, but that still would have been good.
Yeah, no. If it was original, it would have been worth a crap load of money. But
for sure.
Reprint, obviously.
Yeah.
It was cool just to have for a while. Like I think I let somebody borrow it, and then it got misplaced. I even had the comic where Superman does a subtle nod to the Watchmen, which is absolutely hilarious. Like Superman casually mentions Dr. Manhattan in one of the comic books, and if you didn't know who the Watchmen were, you wouldn't have understood. And a lot of people knew back then the Watchmen was like a comic that wasn't really like talked about very much, but the guy who created it was Alan Moore, and Alan Moore did a bunch of the Batman comics, the originals.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, Alan Moore, the art. Like when I talk about Alan Moore's, just his artistry, it's absolutely insane. That man, like, he wrote the only comic book where Batman uses a gun and kills somebody. Alan Moore literally wrote that comic. He is the reason Batman became a murderer. So Alan Moore, yeah, he was the one who he didn't give any fucks when it came to like the comic book world. He wanted people to question why superheroes did what they did, and were they actually bad people, or could they be good people, or were they overcompensating for something that was going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. No. You're talking about the Batman series that was a detective series, the original detective series for Batman. I've seen those comics, like obviously probably not originals, probably reprints. I've seen them. I don't know like the name of it. Some issue 37 of some detective series, I believe. Yeah, no, I've seen it. Oh my God, what was that? Crew, how do you not know that name either? But anyways, Alan Moore, completely awesome.
Yeah.
Who was your when it came down to comic book artists and like the people that wrote the comics crew? By far, who was your go-to?
My go-to?
Yeah, your go-to when it came to reading comic books. Who was the if such and such dropped a new comic book and you knew it was written by them, you just had to have it. You went out and grabbed it.
My favorite. Hold on. Robert, what's his last name? Knager.
When I think of comics, the main one that comes to mind is the main guy, Stanley.
Stan Lee, yeah.
Yes.
So Stan Lee definitely comes to mind when you think about comic books and comic book art, and that's because he was basically one of the forerunners for Marvel. Like he was the forerunner for Marvel. Like he created and helped create some of the original Marvel characters, including Spider-Man, the Hulk, things like that. Now, there are conspiracy theories that state that Stan Lee may have stolen those characters from Jack Kirby, but nobody really knows, and quite honestly, it's insulting. So,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
Stanley and Jack Kirby were both amazing at what they did, and I believe that Stan Lee gave all of the credit and more credit to Jack Kirby than what was necessary, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, but yeah, Stanley is definitely the one that always comes to mind when I think of comics.
But yeah, well, that's for Marvel though. When it comes to DC though, Robert Knager, one of the best DC comic book writers of all time.
Oh yeah.
But Alan Moore, influential.
Oh my God, yes. Alan Moore was my favorite comic book artist. And I found out about Alan because of Batman. But then before it got big, before the movie came out, before anything, I found The Watchmen. My dad had or not my dad, it was or no, it may have been my dad. My dad had comics when we grew up. I found a Watchmen comic, and it was a comic book that was like this fat, like it was huge. It was basically the whole story of the original Watchmen.
I think those are the ones that I've seen at a thrift store or this little warehouse that they were selling them really cheap.
So some of those are
And
reprints. Some
yes.
of those are reprints. Now, I will tell you that if it's a real one, you'll know because it's
Oh
old.
yeah.
They're really 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 old, and the pages are usually yellowing.
Yeah.
My dad, I swear it was my dad. If it wasn't my dad, it may have been somebody else that I knew. But my dad did have comics, so I'm thinking it was probably my dad. But had that original Watchmen comic, and I snuck in and I read it, and I absolutely fell in love with the Watchmen at that point. And then I found out that Alan Moore did it, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" So I started seeking out every little thing that Alan Moore did.
And you can't forget about Marv Wolfman, who did the new Teen Titans plus Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Teen Titans is. I actually like Teen Titans. They're not my favorite, but I actually do like them. I always enjoyed Beast Boy.
Beast Boy was great.
Do we know what Gunshoe looks like?
The Justice League had its first incarnation as the Justice
I don't think so.
Society of America,
Okay.
DC's all-star comics in the 1940s. By March 1960, DC thought it was high time to modernize the Justice Society, whose original arc was deeply entrenched in World War II. Their replacement, the Justice League, premiered in The Brave and the Bold number 28. The Justice League's original founding members were Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Aquaman. The first animated adaptation of the Justice League was Super Friends, produced in 1973 by Hanna-Barbera. 38 years later, Cartoon Network premiered a new series created and produced by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. Despite the high demand, Tim was initially hesitant because he knew juggling so many beloved characters would be incredibly difficult. The creators also had to wait for technology to advance to the point where they could create a visually striking show. Want to know more about Justice League?
Watch the full video here on Channel Frederator.
The Justice League.
I loved Super Friends. I'm sorry. I loved that show.
I
Growing up.
really enjoyed Superdog. Superdog was one of my favorite comics, and it was also one of my favorite little shorts that they did on different when they would drop different comic series.
Okay.
But they would do like little episodes or whatever, and then they drop a tiny little snippet at the end of like Superman playing frisbee
Yes.
with like Superdog.
I
And
loved
it always
Superdog.
made my day. But I was like, how come they never put Superdog in like a pivotal film? I would have loved that. Like if Superman was like, hold up, guys, I gotta go feed Superdog real quick. Don't want that puppy pissed.
because he has crypto.
No, I know. But I like I've always liked the super dogs. And there were two, because Batman did have a dog. And there were a couple different comics that Batman had the dog in, but that quickly died out and the dog didn't last very long. Same
I
thing with
kind of remember that.
Superdog didn't last long either. Superdog had like a 10 series comic line and then was subtly introduced in other like comics. I don't think he ever made an appearance in Justice League, but I could be wrong. But Superdog was just subtly added to random DC comics and then died off. And then he got thrown into, like, later on in the long run, he got thrown into like random video games and random animated films and things of that nature. Like, didn't they just make a whole movie about the dogs? Like
They did.
Yeah, right.
Animated film about them.
He didn't make it. He didn't make the cut.
Superdog didn't make the cut.
Nope, not for that movie.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
Crypto and Ace, the Bat Hound,
Yeah.
were the main two, but there was a few others in that film. But the main known two was Ace the Hound and Crypto.
And Superdog didn't make it.
Nope.
That's
Wow.
so stupid. That makes me so mad. That's fine. He's too cool for you guys to have anyways.
Super dog.
Revised version of this painting I'd done.
Wait a second. What happened?
That Plastic Man is overpowered. But did you know that he once humiliated the entire Justice League? After Injustice Superman and his squad captured Plastic Man's son, Plastic Man confronted them to let him go. However, after Superman refused to free his son, Plastic Man tracked down the Flash and he suffocated him and replicated him. He then tricked Cyborg into revealing the location of his son and stole a bunch of Green Lantern rings while infiltrating the prison. He gave the Green Lanterns their rings back and freed his son and everyone else, causing chaos among the prisoners. When the League showed up, he prevented them from entering the prison and used the portal machine he stole from the armory to free all the prisoners. We all know that Plastic Man is overpowered, but did you know that he once humiliated the entire Justice League?
If I remember correctly, this happened in the Injustice series.
Yeah, Plastic Man. Plastic Man.
And you can't forget about Elongated Man.
Yes, no, Elongated Man, that's ridiculous. And one of my favorite quotes ever was, because it was used in both series, in Marvel and in Elongated Man, is does everything stretch? And of course, it's a dirty fucking joke. And it's absolutely hilarious. It's
But why Plastic Man?
They did it in the
Why
Fantastic Four to Mr. Fantastic, right? Because he stretches.
Okay.
Yeah. Such a bad joke. Does everything stretch? And they subtly put that joke into the comics and the TV shows. If you go watch the comics, or sorry, if you go read the comics and watch the TV shows, like for all of those movies and the random animated films, that joke is in all of them.
Yeah.
Subtly put in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious, but kind of like stupid.
Yeah.
The entire Justice League is about to jump Batman because they just got told that he's a vampire and that he's the one who killed Flash, whereas in reality, Green Lantern and Diana were the real vampires. So when Batman sensed the presence at the Batcave, he quickly shut down the lights, where an arrow then shoots right through his back. But it was just a decoy, as Batman stands right behind Oliver ready to fight. However, the two eventually realize that neither of them is a vampire and can therefore now trust each other. Oliver explains to Batman that the League thinks he's a vampire, and Batman reveals to him that it is Green Lantern who actually killed the Flash. But suddenly alarms go off, and as Hal and Diana show up, Bruce and Oliver try to hide, but the entire League eventually comes crashing, putting Bruce and Oliver in a 2v6 situation. The entire Justice League is about to jump Batman.
Dude, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Zombie Batman?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is a crazy comic.
Yeah.
You want to talk about gory, crazy comics. They had Zombie Justice League too, I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, Marvel had its own zombie series too. They had Zombie X-Men.
Zaslav highlighted 4 characters that will be the pillars and asset builders of the DCU. Thanks to David Zaslav, we now know who are going to be the main characters and the faces of the DCU. And it looks like the main characters of the DCU are going to be Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Supergirl. If you still don't understand, this is basically them telling us who are going to be the main characters in this universe. Like when the MCU started, the main characters were Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Black Widow. But the thing is, Marvel actually had to think about who would have been the main characters because they sold all their heavy hitters away. DC never sold any of their heavy hitters because they never went bankrupt, so it was pretty clear on who's going to lead the universe, the DC Trinity themselves, and Supergirl. Now, I admit Supergirl is not who I was expecting to be part of the pillars. I thought it would have been like Green Lantern, Flash, or Aquaman, but their brand was tainted in past DC stuff. It makes sense to try something new. Plus, Supergirl is getting the second DCU movie in 2026. I low-key see the vision here. Supergirl is going to lead the cosmic side of the DCU. Wonder Woman is going to lead the fantasy and mythology side of the DCU. Batman is going to lead the gritty and street-level side of the DCU. And Superman is the unifier, the beating heart of the DCU, the man who connects all these sides together because he resonates with all 3 sides. And I think it's safe to assume that Superman is going to be the face of the DCU since he's the one who's getting the first DCU movie. Overall, I'm pretty happy with these choices. Sure, it's safe and predictable, but I mean, who else would you choose? Just saying, it could have been worse. James Gunn likes to use Z-listers a lot. It could have been Peacemaker or Harley Quinn. And thank God the overexposure of Harley Quinn and the Suicide Squad's over at DC. The Suicide Squad is a failing franchise. They only got one good movie out of it. And Harley Quinn works better as a villain. I hated her as an anti-hero. This also means they're going to start casting Wonder Woman and Batman as soon as possible because Superman and Supergirl are already cast, and you know, they're the main pillars. They got to start casting as soon as possible. And Wonder Woman doesn't even have a movie yet. They got to announce that as soon as possible. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty happy with these choices. I'm excited to see these characters lead the DCU into the future. What are your thoughts on their choices?
But Wonder Woman did have a Wonder Woman had 2 movies.
Yeah.
Going in new routes. So all the old DC movies that they just did in the past few, last few years ago, does not count part of the DCU. DCU is a whole new different project. It's kind of like the MCU, but it's different. They're revamping the DC universe because of the fact that how all the other DC live action films did.
Okay.
Which I completely agree with.
I did this finished revised version of this painting I'd done earlier when I was 20. I did it again when I was 30. And it's one of the most well-seen pieces I've ever done. And it's been repeatedly seen interpreted into.
That's pretty cool. Can't play it too long though.
Yeah.
There's music in it. But that's pretty cool. And that painting, I've definitely seen that before.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, look at that. There's already an ad.
Crazy.
I hate YouTube.
Never fails, right?
You can't even skip it.
This is a family, bound by blood.
Don't mute it, don't mute it, don't mute it.
The Justice League isn't the first team of superheroes to emerge in the DC Comics universe, but it's undoubtedly the most famous. The original JLA was conceived in 1960. It was written by Gardner Fox and debuted in The Brave and the Bold, number 28. That comic united 7 pre-existing heroes: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter as they joined forces to battle the enormous alien villain known as Starro. That original team lineup has become affectionately referred to by fans as the Big Seven. The exact origin story of the Justice League has changed quite a bit over the years, but for the most part, that founding lineup has remained the same. The Justice League quickly expanded into its own series from the pages of The Brave and the Bold. The team roster remained surprisingly consistent for the next several decades, especially compared to Marvel teams like the Avengers and the X-Men.
You don't have to be a VIP to get more than just savings with Geico. Every customer gets 24/7 fast-friendly claim support.
Could I get a picture?
Yeah, it's not like you run into animal celebrities every day.
Stop.
I can't stand commercials. They should be banned.
Me neither.
Yeah, especially these ones. These ones are stupid.
Yeah.
And rolling in to swell the ranks, Green Arrow became the first new member early on in 1961. He was eventually followed by the Atom in 1962, Hawkman in 1964, and Black Canary in 1969. More new recruits appeared during the 1970s, a period now referred to as the Satellite Era, a name it earned because the League set up shop in their new space station headquarters. The League eventually welcomed heroes like Phantom Stranger, Elongated Man, Red Tornado, Hawkgirl, Zatanna, and Firestorm. By this point, pretty much every major adult hero in the DC universe was a member of the League, resulting in one of the largest and most versatile groups in the team's history. DC didn't make any significant overhauls to the Justice League lineup until 1984, a time when the series began to wane in popularity in favor of titles like New Teen Titans and Uncanny X-Men. Writer Jerry Conway and artist Chuck Patton introduced a dramatically different league that included a mix of old favorites and new, more diverse recruits like Steel, Vixen, Vibe, and Gypsy. This revamped team became unofficially known as Justice League Detroit, a name it got thanks to their relocated headquarters. The Justice League evolved even more radically in the late 1980s, as writers Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis and artist Kevin Maguire made their mark on the franchise with Justice League International. In this series, billionaire Maxwell Lord sponsored a new team of heroes pulled from all corners of the globe. Fans still refer to this as the Bwahaha era because of the heavier emphasis on humor and slapstick comedy. While a few old favorites like Batman and Martian Manhunter stuck around, the JLI focused mainly on newer, quirkier heroes like Tech Genius, Blue Beetle, Time Traveler, Booster Gold, the surly Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Military Man, Captain Atom, Brazilian Heroine, Fire, Icelandic Heroine, Ice, and the fan favorite husband and wife duo, Elongated Man and Sue Dibney. The Justice League began to evolve more and more rapidly during this time, with new members leaving and joining the team ever more frequently. The team even spawned its first offshoot in the form of Justice League Europe, a group that included Animal Man, Power Girl, Metamorpho, Crimson Fox, and even new gods like Light Ray and Orion. Most significantly, this series marked the Justice League debut of the Wally West version of Flash, the former hero known as Kid Flash, who took up the mantle after Barry Allen died in 1985's Crisis on Infinite Earths. Crisis was a major reboot intended to make sense of decades of confusing continuity issues, leading, among many other changes, to a new version of the Justice League's origin story in 1988, which changed history so that Black Canary became a founding member in place of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. This era also saw the debut of a very short-lived team called Justice League Antarctica. Led by the villain Major Disaster, this team was tasked with defending their icy home and basically staying out of the real Justice League's way. The Justice League franchise changed again in the early 90s. Like many superhero comics of the time, it shifted away from humor and towards darker storylines with more extreme artwork. DC published several concurrent Justice League comics during this period, including the core Justice League America title and spin-offs like Justice League Task Force and Extreme Justice. These books brought back more classic Justice League members while also introducing recruits like Obsidian, Nuklon, Triumph, Blue Devil, and the modern-age version of Hawkman. Thanks to concepts like reincarnation and past lives, Hawkman's origin story began to get really complicated around this time. Extreme Justice even inducted Wonder Twins Zan and Jaina into DC's comic book universe. The comic book industry as a whole went through a major rough patch in the mid-90s, and Justice League wasn't immune to those effects. DC eventually canceled Justice League America in 1996 and relaunched the series as JLA. It was written by Grant Morrison with art by Howard Porter. Morrison and Porter brought back the team to its roots by focusing on the original Big Seven again, although most of these characters had changed a great deal in the almost 4 decades since the Justice League first debuted. This is where Green Lantern Kyle Rayner first joined the team, and he, like Wally West, found himself trying to carry on the legacy of another hero. While JLA focused mainly on the original members, it wasn't long before Morrison began filling out the ranks of his team with an eclectic cast of iconic favorites and obscure heroes. Batman's partners, Nightwing and Oracle, both made their debuts on the team during this period, as did Superman's newfound ally, Steel. Other new League members included Aztec, the Connor Hawk Green Arrow, Plastic Man, Zariel, Big Barda.
Hey Blue Springs, your neighborhood Target is remodeled and ready for you.
One more ad.
I looked a lot
Oh
different.
my God, now you've done it.
I started my degree in 1986.
Hourman, and Jade. Wonder Woman's mother, Hippolyta, even briefly filled in for her daughter. This may seem strange to fans of the animated series, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, but it wasn't until 2003's JLA number 76 that Green Lantern John Stewart was officially made a League member. The Justice League spawned another short-lived offshoot team in 2004's Justice League Elite, led by Vera Lynn Black, the sister of Superman villain Manchester Black. This team sought to become a more proactive counterpart to the main league. The Justice League underwent its next big evolution in 2006 in the aftermath of a story called Infinite Crisis, which served as a sort of sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths and caused more big changes to the DC timeline. Following a year-long hiatus in the books, the Justice League reformed with a fairly traditional roster that included most of the Big Seven and other favorites from the team's satellite era. However, the League added several new recruits in this period, including Black Lightning, Green Arrow's former sidekick Red Arrow, and Geoforce. Writer James Robinson introduced another Justice League offshoot in the 2009 miniseries Cry for Justice. In it, Green Arrow and Green Lantern formed a more aggressive team similar to the one seen in Justice League Elite, and recruited heroes like Supergirl, Starman, and Kongorilla. Shortly after, the main Justice League added Guardian and Superman's friend Mon-El to its ranks. Also, speedster heroine Jessie Quick joined 3 former Teen Titans, Starfire, Donna Troy, and Cyborg. Finally, DC also briefly revived the fan-favorite Justice League International team during this period in a year-long series called Justice League Generation Lost. Generation Lost added both the new Jamie Reyes Blue Beetle and a new version of Rocket Red to that classic lineup. The DC Comics universe underwent a major shift in 2011 thanks to the New 52 reboot, which saw DC streamline its superhero continuity and tell yet another new version of the Justice League's origin. The New 52 restored the classic Big Seven lineup with one major exception, as Cyborg replaced Martian Manhunter as a founding member. That change aside, the main Justice League team didn't actually gain any completely new members for several years. However, the New 52 did introduce several new Justice League offshoots. The series Justice League Dark featured a group of supernatural heroes that included Madame Xanadu, Zatanna, John Constantine, Deadman, Shade the Changing Man, and Swamp Thing. DC also briefly revived the Justice League International at the beginning of the New 52. It added new members like August General and Iron, Batwing, and OMAC to the team. In 2013, Suicide Squad leader Amanda Waller formed her own Justice League of America that introduced characters like Rick Flag and Catwoman to the team. That new group didn't last long, and several ex-members went on to form Justice League United, inducting Adam Strange and Equinox into the mix along the way.
Give me one more.
The core New 52 Justice League finally added its first brand new members in 2013, when Atomica and Element Woman joined the ranks. However, Atomica turned out to be a spy for Earth-3's evil crime syndicate. Ironically, this paved the way for a pair of former Justice League enemies, Lex Luthor and Captain Cold, to join up. As you might have expected, neither character stuck around for very long. In 2016, DC followed up the New 52 with another relaunch called DC Rebirth. Rebirth has so far spawned 2 main incarnations of the Justice League. The main team features a lot of familiar faces, along with newer recruits like Green Lantern's Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, as well as Aquaman's fiancée, Mera. And while a Justice League of China has also popped up, the other major addition to the mythos involves the Dark Knight himself. Yes, Batman has formed a new Justice League of America and recruited a very unusual team that includes the Ryan Choi Atom, Lobo, and the reformed villain Killer Frost. However, a surprising lack of Robins in there though. And while dozens and dozens of heroes have served as active members of the Justice League over the years, plenty more have served as honorary members. That includes the team's original mascot, Snapper Carr, characters like the elongated man's wife, Sue Dibney, and cosmic heroes like Captain Comet, and even the reformed villain, Tattooed Man. Of course, all these Justice League members are just from the main DC universe. DC Comics is home to a vast multiverse with infinite alternate worlds and versions of the Justice League. But to cover them all, we'd also need an infinite amount of time. One thing is certain, however. As the DC universe continues to grow, so too will its greatest superhero team, the Justice League.
That reminded me. They mentioned Aquaman. Have you ever seen the Aquaman movie?
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
I've never seen it yet. Is it any good?
Yes.
They're both really good, but the only issue, Amber Heard, they should not have brought back for the sequel. They should have replaced her.
Yeah.
Because what she did, she basically, when anybody hears Mira, that character from the DC comics, her name will always be
attached
to that role, and nobody will ever want to watch Aquaman ever again. But
Yeah, like I said, I just never watched it. I just
it's a good
never.
movie. They're both good movies. Don't get me wrong, but because of what Amber Heard did, no.
It says the Arrow show was really good, and I said, yeah, that show was great for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole series, but from what I saw, I liked a lot. I need to watch it. I need to finish it. What is this?
Today, we are going to talk about the parents and child of the Justice League superheroes. In the different timelines, each of them had different stories, so their relationship is quite complicated. The first superhero we want to mention is Batman. His father is Thomas Wayne, who was a successful doctor and entrepreneur in Gotham City. His mother is Martha Kane, who was a member of the famous Kane family. Batman had several children with different women in the different timelines. In Earth 22, Talia al Ghul forced the Dark Knight to sleep with her. The result of that evening was a son named Ibn al-Quafsash. Talia kept the secret about Ibn from Batman. Talon Wayne was the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul in the Elseworlds League of Batman. Damian Wayne was the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul in Other Reality. He was genetically modified and grown in an artificial womb by the League of Assassins. They want to create a perfect fighter. Helena Wayne was the daughter of Batman and Selina Kyle in Earth 2. After the death of her mother, she decided to fight crime under the superhero name Huntress. Bruce Wayne Jr. was the biological son of Bruce on Earth 154. In that reality, Batman married Katharina Kane and had children with her. He has 2 adopted children, Clark Wayne and Tim Drake, as the third Robin. The next superhero we'll discuss is Superman. His biological father was Jor-El, a scientist of the Kryptonian Council. His biological mother was Lara Lor-Van, who named him Kal-El. When planet Krypton died, Kal-El was sent to the Earth and adopted by Martha and Jonathan Kent of Smallville. The couple gave him another name, Clark Kent. He has had several children across the multiverse. John Kent is the young child of Clark Kent and Lois Lane. John picks the code name Superboy and uses superpower to fight evil. Like many half-breeds, he has the power of both worlds in his blood. Ciel was the future daughter of Superman and Lois Lane, and that she time-traveled to the past. It was later revealed that Ciel was given another name, Mia. In the series Superman and Batman Generations, Superman and Lois Lane have 2 kids. The son, named Joel William Kent, was born without superpower. His sister, Kara Kent, on the other hand, came with all her father's abilities, except her power was only half as strong as her dad. In an alternate future, John Lane Kent is the son of Superman and Lois Lane. John seemingly died at the early age because of unstable.
Wait. That's Supergirl.
No.
She's dressed like Supergirl. Kara Kent, and then Kara Zor-El.
They named her after his cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little disturbed here, but okay, you're making it make sense. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I'm like, from everything I understand, their family. How is Supergirl like what?
Stable DNA. However, the villain Harvest resurrected him and used his powers to kill all metahumans in the world. In the story, in the Kingdom, Hyperman, known as Jonathan Kent, was the son of Superman and Wonder Woman. Jonathan not only had the power of his parents, but he also possesses the time-traveling ability. Laura Kent was the daughter of Superman and Wonder Woman in the series The Dark Knight Strikes Again. She was raised on Paradise Island. Wonder Woman teaches her child discipline and self-control while keeping her safe from the outside world.
God, Superman
Connor
4.
Kent is the clone of the Man of Steel created by Project Cadmus. Later, Clark Kent accepted him as a part of his family and gave this child the name Connor Kent. In Earth 16, Clark Kent and Lois adopted a young Kryptonian named Christopher Kent. His true parents were General Zod and Ursa. The next superhero is Wonder Woman. She is the daughter of Hippolyta, the 10th queen of the Amazons, and Zeus, the ruler of Mount Olympus. She has a twin brother named Jason, who was hidden in order to escape Hera's jealousy wrath. Wonder Woman doesn't have children in DC main continuity. Besides Superman, Wonder Woman does have children with a human soldier named Steve Trevor in alternate realities and universes. First up is Hippolyta Trevor, daughter of Diana Prince and Steve. She operated as a superhero under the name Fury in Wonder Woman Amazonia. Diana and Steve have two daughters named Vicky Trevor and Etta Trevor. In Superman and Batman Generations, Wonder Woman had a daughter named Stephanie Trevor with Steve. She carried on her mother's legacy in the Justice League of America. Hunter Prince is the son of Wonder Woman. When Hunter was a child, Wonder Woman gave up on him because a man wasn't allowed on Paradise Island. He never forgave his mother. The next hero in the list is Cyborg. His true name is Victor Stone, the son of Silas Stone and Eleanor Stone. The couple were scientists who worked at Star Labs. An accident destroyed over 90% of Victor's body, forcing his father to turn Victor into a biomechatronic organism known as Cyborg. Barry Allen, also known as the Flash, the fastest superhero. He was the son of Henry Allen and Nora Thompson. His father was accused for the death of his murder. Billy Batson is commonly known as Shazam, a superhero with the power of ancient gods. His parents were Clarence Charles Batson and Marilyn Batson. Arthur Curry, commonly known as Aquaman, King of Atlantis. His father is Tom Curry, a normal lighthouse keeper. His mother is Atlanta, Queen of Atlantis. Arthur has a half-brother named Orm Marius. In Prime Earth, Arthur met and fell in love with Mera, princess of the Zebel Kingdom. The couple have a daughter named Andrina Curry. In New Earth, the couple has two children, oldest son named Arthur Curry Jr. and youngest son named Arthur Joseph Curry. Arthur also had another son with an Inuit woman, Kako, who lived in Alaska. His name is Koyak. The last hero in this list is Hal Jordan, also known as Green Lantern. His father is Martin Jordan, an Air Force test pilot. His mother is Jessica Jordan. Hal has two older brothers, Jack Jordan and Jim Jordan. That is all for today. What's your favorite DC superheroes? Leave a comment in the comments section.
So that was quite a bit of info.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had so many children. I need to read more comics.
Yeah, and
Well, I remember the Wonder Woman, because she was married in the show. She was married to that military man.
Right. Which in the movie, she falls in love with him, who's played by Chris Pine. And in the sequel, she wishes for him to come back, but he doesn't stay very long in that movie.
Yeah.
And that was 1980 Wonder Woman 1984. Really good.
That was so good.
Yeah.
That movie
It
was
was.
so good.
So they had 2 children?
Not in the.
Or just the one?
They in the
Wonder
comics
Woman.
they had multiple children.
No, okay.
But in the live action movies, they didn't have any children.
No, they haven't really done a romantic relationship besides Catwoman and Batman yet in like live action films.
Well, and Superman and Lois.
Right, but that's different. That was like a huge part of Superman's life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
just
I
like
like
Batman and Rachel.
And in live action, you can't forget
Rachel.
about Barry Allen and Iris West.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I used to watch the Superman and Lois Lane TV shows. I think it was in the early 90s. That one.
Elmstead said they shelved a Static Shock movie with Michael B. Jordan. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I did. I didn't get a lot of publicity.
Is that just because people don't enjoy Static Shock that much?
No, it's the fact that so certain projects they have to cut because of either budget or publicity, or because of the fact that it doesn't get enough notice.
Yeah.
And Static Shock was a great cartoon and comic book series.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. They were, if I remember correctly, I think I enjoyed the comics I read from it. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Justice League Unlimited issue 6 is here. The We Are Yesterday crossover with World's Finest explodes. Inferno's unmasked as the Legion of Doom. Grodd, with Martian Manhunter's powers, manipulates Airwave, flashing illusions of the League's misdeeds and tricking him into thinking he's dying. Using Airwave's powers, Grodd pulls Scarecrow, Luthor, Sinestro into this timeline. It's all been Grodd's master plan. Airwave is trapped by the Legion. Mr. Terrific and Red Tornado track Grodd's teleporter. But is it too late? Grodd vaporizes him for his Tachyon mission. When the League shows up to save Airwave, the Legion of Doom's ready and freezes them in time. The art's a banger, but I'm disappointed. Same old villains once again. This run's been great, but I feel like this is comics' big flaw. Spinning in circles. Can the League be saved? Let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe for more. Peace.
Gorilla Grodd was always one of my favorites. And Elmstead said the Flash TV show made him love Gorilla Grodd. Grodd was a cool character.
Oh, yeah.
There was a video game that I got to play as Grodd in. I don't remember what game that was.
Injustice 2?
Yeah, probably.
Because you can play as Grodd in that.
Yeah, that's probably it then.
The Justice League. And who are these new heroes? In James Gunn's Superman, we meet a new trio, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. They're called the Justice Gang, a name Guy made up that nobody else takes seriously. They fight a kaiju, get funded by Max Lord, and work out of the Hall of Justice. But they're not the Justice League. Not yet. We've seen the old League, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, but James Gunn is building something new. And slower. They're recruiting. They've got Metamorpho on the way. They rejected Peacemaker. And they're clearly setting up for something bigger. But everything, the team, the HQ, the mission, is pointing toward one legendary upgrade. The question is, when does the gang become the League? What happened to the Justice League?
Why didn't they let Peacemaker become head of the Justice League?
Okay. Because he's a
villain, basically.
POS. He's a POS.
I like him though.
Yeah, he's great, but in character wise, in the comics, he's a POS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially in the TV show, he's a POS.
I liked Peacemaker.
Yeah, Peacemaker was great. And John Cena did a great job as Peacemaker.
Would you look at that?
Influencers aren't new.
Don't call it a comeback.
The Arrowverse is an adaptation of the DC Universe, which in that universe, the biggest and most famous superhero team is the Justice League, which over the years has consisted of a lot of different DC heroes, a lot of whom have appeared in the Arrowverse. In this video, I will go over every single Justice League member from the comics who has appeared in the Arrowverse, go over what universe they're from in the Arrowverse, the actor who plays them, what episode they debuted in on which show, and also some details about when and how they joined the Justice League in the comics. Maybe not how, just when. So all that out of the way, let's go over every one of these characters in order of when they joined the team. So looking at all of the founding members of the Justice League, at least the original ones, meaning Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, which is the Barry Allen one, Green Lantern, the Hal Jordan one, Aquaman, as well as Martian Manhunter, 3 of them have appeared and 1 of them has been mentioned. All of these characters were founding members of the Justice League and founded the League back in 1960. First of all, you have Clark Kent, aka Superman, who appeared and is on Earth 38. He's not a very major character, especially compared to his basically starring role in the DC Universe in the comics, but he has appeared at least a couple episodes. He debuted technically in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 1, but with an actor for the first time in Supergirl Season 2, Episode 1, where he was played by Tyler Hoechlin. Then you have Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, who, although has never appeared, has been mentioned and is on Earth 1. He was mentioned as Bruce Wayne for the first time in Arrow Season 6, Episode 2, and was mentioned as Batman for the first time in Arrow Season 7, Episode 9. Then you have Barry Allen, also known as The Flash, which has 3 versions of this character appearing in the Arrowverse, the first of which is the Earth 90 version, the main character of the 1990s Flash TV show who debuted in Season 1, Episode 1 of that show. He's played by John Wesley Shipp, and he's the first of many Barry Allens to appear in the Arrowverse. Then you have the main character of the 2014 Flash TV show, also Barry Allen, also known as The Flash, who is on Earth 1. He's played by Grant Gustin, and although is the main character of The Flash, he debuted in Arrow Season 2, Episode 8. The final version of Barry Allen I'm going to go over here is the...
Is it ad?
I know, that's crazy.
Booking.com has all kinds of
Dude, I'm
stays
so
for those
sick of
who love family resorts and for those who do not.
The Earth 2 version, also played by Grant Gustin, who appeared in The Flash Season 2, Episode 13, although he is not actually a version of The Flash. There is also Savitar, but technically he is the Earth 1 version of Barry Allen, just a future time remnant, so I'm not going to really mention him here. But then over on Earth 38, you have Martian Manhunter, John Jones, who is a supporting character on Supergirl, debuting in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 1, being played by David Harewood. Those are all the founding members of the Justice League to appear in the Arrowverse, or at least the original one. But there is another character who in that same issue was made an honorary member of the Justice League, and that is Snapper Carr, who debuted in Supergirl Season 2, Episode 2, being played by Ian Gomez, also on Earth 38.
The Justice League's first recruit after the founding of the team, not counting the honorary member of Snapper Carr, is Oliver Queen, aka the Green Arrow, who is a main character in the Arrowverse, the main character of Arrow, which is the namesake of the entire multiverse on Earth 1. He's played by Stephen Amell and obviously debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1. In the comics, he joined the Justice League in 1961 as, like I said, their first recruit past the founding. A year later, in 1962, Ray Palmer, aka the Atom, joined the Justice League. In the Arrowverse, he is on Earth 1 and is a supporting character in Legends of Tomorrow, or really technically one of the main characters. He's played by Brandon Routh and debuted in Arrow Season 3, Episode 1. 2 years after that, in 1964, Carter Hall, aka Hawkman, joined the team, and in the Arrowverse, he's a supporting character in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, also on Earth 1, and he debuted in The Flash Season 2, Episode 8 during the crossover. And also he's played by Fulk Henschel. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that, but that is Hawkman. Then 5 years later, in 1969, Dinah Lance, also known as Black Canary, joined the Justice League. Now, the Arrowverse has had a large amount of these characters. There's Sarah Lance, there's the Siren X version, there's even Dinah Drake, but none of those characters will be counted for this version of Black Canary because she is a character who is a hero, so Siren X won't be included, and she's not Sarah Lance or Dinah Drake. She is a different character in Dinah Lance or Dinah Laura Lance, so those other characters, some of them will be included later, really only one of them, but for now, I'm only looking at Dinah Laura Lance. So first of all, you have the Earth 1 version, which is played by Katie Cassidy, a supporting character on Arrow, who debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1. She's also the Black Canary, or although she's not really called Dinah Lance, she's called Laura Lance for the most part. Then there's her Earth 2 counterpart, who, although was a villain for a while, called Black Siren, she later took over from the Earth 1 version of Black Canary, who did die, as the Earth 1's Black Canary, or at least one of them. She's played by Katie Cassidy and debuted in The Flash Season 2, Episode 22. In 1973, the Justice League added two heroes who have debuted in the Arrowverse, first of which is Ralph Dibny, aka the Elongated Man, who appeared on The Flash as a supporting character on Earth 1. He debuted in The Flash Season 4, Episode 4, and is played by Harley Sawyer. Then you have two different versions of Red Tornado, neither of which really have a voice box, really. They don't talk, and they don't have a different identity, and they're also kind of both antagonists, one being a lot more antagonistic than the other. The villainous one is played by Ido Goldberg and debuted in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 6 on Earth 38, but the less villainous but also kind of antagonistic in the moment was from Earth X, the Red Tornado, also played by Ido Goldberg. I had no idea they were played by the same person. This is just the voice for the character, and he debuted in The Flash Season 4, Episode 8. Those two characters of Elongated Man and these two versions of Red Tornado both debuted in 1973, or at least joined the team in that year of the Justice League. In 1974, the Justice League got their second Green Lantern added to the team in John Stewart. This character, although never technically fully appearing in the Arrowverse, has had two characters that are technically John Stewart, the first of which is one of the main supporting characters on Arrow, debuting all the way back in Arrow Season 1, Episode 1, being played by David Ramsey, is John Diggle, who is technically the John Stewart of the Arrowverse. If you want more details about that, you can click this video in the top right corner of the video, but then you have his Earth 90 counterpart called John. His last name was never revealed, but we're going to assume it's either Diggle or more likely Stewart from Earth 90, who was mentioned in Arrow Season 7, Episode 9, and since he is a doppelganger of John Diggle, we are going to assume that he is also played by David Ramsey if he were ever to appear. 13 years after Hawkman joined the Justice League, Hawkgirl joined as well. In the Arrowverse, she is Kendra Saunders, aka Hawkgirl, on Earth 1, a supporting character on Legends of Tomorrow Season 1. She's played by Kiara Renee and debuted in The Flash Season 1, Episode 23. Firestorm joined the Justice League in 1980. Now, in the Arrowverse, there are three different characters who have been Firestorm, one of which is not Firestorm in the comics. So the two characters who are members of the Justice League and are actually Firestorm in the comics are Martin Stein and Ronnie Raymond, both debuting in The Flash Season 1, Episode 8, and played by Victor Garber and Robbie Amell, respectively, both on Earth 1, with Martin Stein acting as a supporting character on Legends of Tomorrow, with Jefferson Jackson both being Firestorm. Now, Jefferson Jackson was never a Firestorm in the comics and never a member of the Justice League, but since he is basically the main version of Firestorm in the Arrowverse, I will be including him in this video. Jefferson Jackson acts as a supporting character in Legends of Tomorrow for the first first 3 seasons. He is on Earth 1 and debuted in The Flash Season 2, Episode 4, being played by Franz Drama. In 1984, a new version of the Justice League called Justice League Detroit was created, and a couple members of that team have appeared in the Arrowverse, including Steel, Vixen, Vibe, and Gypsy. For Steel, who in the comics was Hank Haywood, here in the Arrowverse, Hank Haywood is not Steel, but his son Nate Haywood is. So they're technically 2 different characters, but they're both representing Steel for this video. Hank Haywood debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 14, but as an adult in Season 4, Episode 1, being played by Tom Wilson. He is on Earth 1, and his son, also on Earth 1, being played by...
Hey, Blue Springs, your neighborhood Target is remodeled and ready for you. Discover fresh grocery options.
Nick Zano, debuting in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 1, and as a supporting character in Season 2, 3, and 4 of that show is Nate Haywood, aka Steel, who in the comics is Citizen Steel, but in the show took over his father's superhero name, as well as another character superhero named John Henry Irons. But these 2 characters are basically both Steel. Then you have Vixen, also 2 different characters. First, Mari McCabe, which is the name of the Vixen from the comics in the present day. Also, just in general, she is the main character of the CW Seed Vixen show. And on Earth 1, she's played by Megalyn Chikunwoke. Don't know how to pronounce that, but she debuted in Vixen Season 1, Episode 1. Then you have her grandmother, Amaya Jiwe, who is not really a character who exists in the comics. That name is not something that exists in the comics, but she's also an adaptation of Vixen. She is a supporting character in Legends of Tomorrow on Earth 1, being played by Maisie Richardson Sellers, and debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Episode 1. The other 2 Justice League Detroit characters, Vibe and Gypsy, are both characters on The Flash, with one of them, Cisco Ramon, aka Vibe, being a supporting character on Earth 1. He debuted in Arrow Season 2, Episode 19, and is being played by Carlos Valdez. The only member of Justice League Detroit to appear in the Arrowverse that didn't join the team initially, but joined later, joining in 1985, is Cynthia Reynolds, aka Gypsy, who, although never called Reynolds in the Arrowverse, is probably Cynthia Reynolds as well. She is from Earth 19, and she is played by Jessica Camacho, and she debuted in The Flash Season 3, Episode 10. In 1987, a new team called Justice League International was created, and a lot of members of this team have either appeared or actually a large portion of them have just been mentioned in the Arrowverse. First of all, you have Ted Kord, aka Blue Beetle, who in the Arrowverse, although never appearing and also never being confirmed to be Blue Beetle, was mentioned as Ted Kord in Arrow Season 1, Episode 21 on Earth 1. You also have Dr. Fate, who also never appeared in the Arrowverse, but his helmet did on Earth 1. You also have Dr. Light, who in the comics is a character named Kimio Hoshi, and in the Arrowverse, she's never appeared, but a kind of different version of Dr. Light, the Earth 2 version of Linda Park, did, being played by Maylee's Joe, debuting in The Flash Season 2, Episode 5, although this is a very, very, very loose adaptation of the character that is the member of Justice League International. Then you have Booster Gold, who technically exists on Earth 1, or at least we assume he does, because his son Rip Hunter, who debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Episode 1, has appeared. Then there's Maxwell Lord, who was a member of the staff of Justice League International, who's later revealed to be a villain, but in the Arrowverse, he debuted in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 2, being played by Peter Fasinelli on Earth 38. Then you also have Fire, who joined in Justice League International in 1988. She is another character who has never appeared but has been mentioned, being called B. DeCosta, one of the characters who died in the particle accelerator explosion. Apparently, she is on Earth 1, and she was mentioned for the first time in The Flash Season 1, Episode 7. Finally, you also have the Huntress, aka Helena Bertinelli, and a member of Justice League International, who is a kind of a villain in the Arrowverse, being played by Jessica DeGao, who appeared in Arrow Season 1, Episode 7, or debuted on also Earth 1. The final character of Justice League International is a supporting character or an honorary member, just like Snapper Carr, Sue Dibney, who in the Arrowverse was mentioned and is set to appear in The Flash Season 6 on Earth 1, or she was more indirectly mentioned than anything, but she was kind of mentioned in The Flash Season 5, Episode 22.
From the show.
There are actually other members that originally were in Justice League International to go over, but in the middle over here, there is kind of a joke team from 1990, yet another version of Justice League called Justice League Antarctica, which mainly featured B, C, or mainly D tier villains. Probably the most famous of these villains is William Tachman, aka Clock King, who appeared a couple times in Arrow as well as once on The Flash as a villain. He's played by Robert Nepper and debuted in Arrow Season 2, Episode 14 on Earth 1. There's also David Ratchet, aka Big Sur, who is played by Bill Goldberg and debuted in The Flash Season 4, Episode 11. So getting back to Justice League International, first of all, we have Wally West, aka The Flash, who in the Arrowverse is played by Keenan Lonsdale and debuted in The Flash Season 2, Episode 1. He is a supporting character on both The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, both on Earth 1, and he is Kid Flash, and either he's never going to be The Flash or he just isn't yet. Now, technically, he's not really based off the same version of Wally West as he's based off the New 52 version, who is a different character, but it's still definitely possible that he is based off, at least partially, this version of Wally West, so I'm still going to include him here, as he's the only version of Wally West that we've seen so far in the Arrowverse. Then you have by the way, Wally West joined the team in 1991. Then you have Maximo, who joined the team in 1992, being played by Ave Torres Grace in Supergirl Season 1, Episode 19. This was just a villainous cameo role, and she only appeared in one episode, never to be seen again. Also, you have Ray Terrell, also known as the Ray. Two versions of this character appeared from Earth X and Earth 1. The Earth X version, they're both played by Russell Tovey, but the Earth X version was really only a cameo role in Freedom Fighters The Ray, debuting in the first episode of that show. But then you have Ray Terrell, aka the Ray from Earth 1, who's the main character.
I started my degree in 1986. 30 years later, I decided to complete my goals, earning my degree.
Character of Freedom Fighters The Ray, but he debuted in The Flash Season 4, Episode 8 during the Crisis on Earth X crossover, but both of these characters, who is the same character, debuted or joined the League in 1993. Then you have Agent Liberty, who in the Arrowverse is Ben Lockwood, aka Agent Liberty, a villain on Earth 38, being played by Sam Witwer, debuting in Supergirl Season 4, Episode 1, but he also joined the League in 1993. The last character to join the League in 1993 and the last member of Justice League International I'm going to go over is Jay Garrick, aka The Flash, who in the Arrowverse is from Earth 3, being played by the same actor who played Barry Allen on Earth 90, John Wesley Shipp, debuting in The Flash Season 2, Episode 13, although he wasn't unmasked until Episode 23 of that same season. 1994 saw the inclusion of two different characters who would later appear in the Arrowverse, or at least so far, one of which was called Nuklon, but it is basically Albert Rothstein, aka Atom Smasher, who in the Arrowverse was turned into a one-off villain from Earth 2, played by Adam Copeland, and debuting in The Flash Season 2, Episode 1. Then you have Obsidian, who in the Arrowverse is Todd Rice, aka Obsidian, just like the comics. He is from Earth 1, but he's all the way from 1939 or sometime around World War II, and a member of Justice Society of America. When he's younger, he's played by Dan Payne. When he's older, he's played by Lance Hendrickson, but he debuted in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 1, right at the end.
What'd you say, Crew?
Then in 1995, Blue Devil joined the Justice League. Now, in the Arrowverse, Blue Devil is actually a fictional character, as we see him on posters, where he is a movie character on Earth 1. The first time we ever saw him was Arrow Season 2, Episode 14, but actually him being a fictional character fits his character, as opposed to another fictional character in the Arrowverse we will go over way later in the video. But then from 1997, Connor Hawke, aka the Green Arrow, joined the Justice League, and in the Arrowverse, there are two different versions of this character. There's John Diggle Jr., who is the Green Arrow from a deleted timeline that we saw in Legends of Tomorrow, but this character also goes by Connor Hawke. He's played by Joseph David Jones, debuting in Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, Episode 6. The same actor, Joseph David Jones, also played a different character, Connor Hawke, who is in the Flash Forwards of Arrow and is the son of Ben Turner, aka Bronze Tiger, and the adopted son of John Diggle. He debuted in Arrow Season 7, Episode 12. Barbara Gordon, aka Oracle, joined the JLA in 1998. In the Arrowverse, she's never appeared and hasn't really been fully mentioned, at least as Barbara Gordon, but Oracle was mentioned in Arrow Season 4, Episode 12, which is on Earth 1, but this reference doesn't really make any sense whatsoever, and it doesn't really 100% prove that she does exist, but considering a lot of other members of the Bat family, like Batman, Batwing, and Batwoman do, I'm going to assume that Oracle does as well, and speaking of Batwing, we will get to him later. In that same year, Jesse Chambers, also known as Jesse Quick, also joined the JLA. In the Arrowverse, she's from Earth 2, played by Violet Bean, debuting in The Flash Season 2, Episode 5. Also, she's not Jesse Chambers, she's actually Jesse Chambers Wells, also known as Jesse Quick. Then you have a new version of the Justice League called Justice League Elite, which was founded in 2004. One of the founders was debuted in the Arrowverse in Supergirl Season 4, Episode 12, played by Jessica Merez on Earth 38, and that is Pamela Furrer, aka Menagerie, who, although is a villain, is also a villain in the comics. And honestly, I don't really know what Justice League Elite is. I just found out about it when researching, but I don't know if this is a villainous team or a hero team, but it doesn't really matter at all for the sake of this video. In 2007, Roy Harper, who was then known as Red Arrow, although he has gone by Arsenal and Speedy as well, joined the Justice League. In the Arrowverse, Roy Harper, aka Arsenal, played by Colton Haynes, a supporting character on Arrow, which is on Earth 1, debuted in Arrow Season 1, Episode 15. 2 years later, Supergirl, which is otherwise known as Kara Zor-El, joined the Justice League as well. In the Arrowverse, she is played by Melissa Benoist. She's the main character of Supergirl, the TV show, debuting in the first episode of that show, living on Earth 38. A year later, in 2010, Guardian, also known as Jim Harper, joined the Justice League. Now, in the Arrowverse, Jim Harper, aka Guardian, is kind of split into two different characters. You have Jim Harper as well as Guardian. Jim Harper, who never became Guardian in the Arrowverse, debuted and appeared in one episode, which is Supergirl Season 1, Episode 17, being played by Eddie McClintock. He was kind of an antagonistic character living on Earth 38. But then there's Guardian, who is a different Jim, Jimmy Olsen, or James Olsen, aka Guardian, who is one of the main supporting characters of Supergirl on Earth 38, who debuted in Episode 1 of that show, the pilot. He's played by Mecca Brooks, and he and Jim Harper are kind of two characters who are split from Guardian in the comics. Then you have, in also 2010, Mon-El joining the Justice League. In the Arrowverse, he was a supporting character on Earth 38 in Supergirl Season 2 and 3, where he debuted in Supergirl Season 2, Episode 1, and he's played by Chris Wood. Then you have Blue Beetle, and if you remember earlier when I said about Blue Devil, another character with a blue in his name, is that for Blue Devil to be a fictional character in the Arrowverse makes a lot of sense, because although I didn't mention this earlier in the video, in the comics he is a fictional character who the actor who plays him later becomes Blue Devil himself in the real world. Blue Beetle, on the other hand, the Jaime Reyes version, both any version really, doesn't really make any sense for him to be a fictional character, but we saw Felicity and William playing Justice 2, or at least a very, very similar looking game to that in Arrow Season 6, Episode 6 on Earth 1. We can maybe assume that every other character from that game is also in the game, but that would mean that Batman's identity, Green Arrow's identity at the time, the Flash's identity, all would be public, so that wouldn't really make any sense. At the time, we could only really assume that Blue Beetle, aka Jaime Reyes, maybe even not Jaime Reyes.
An irresistible
Oh my
scent
God!
combo.
Stop it!
Game Tango scent
Man,
boosters.
there's so many.
It's
Which
because
is
they
Blue
can't
Beetle
get
is a fictional character, which, especially compared to the Blue Devil, doesn't really fit the character at all. 2011 saw the creation of the New 52, and with it came Justice League Dark, a new dark and magical version of the Justice League. A couple members of that team, not really a lot, but a couple of them have appeared in the Arrowverse. The main one is John Constantine, who is the main character of Constantine, debuting in Season 1, Episode 1 of that show, being played by Matt Ryan on Earth 1. You also have Swamp Thing, who, although has never appeared, has kind of been mentioned in Legends of Tomorrow Season 4, Episode 4, on Earth 1, although Alec Holland himself, outside of some marketing for Constantine, has never been mentioned or has appeared.
He made
2011 saw the return of Justice League International, where one of the members was Batwing. In the Arrowverse.
What did you say?
He made a cameo in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Luke Fox, who would probably later become Batwing, is set to appear in Batwoman Season 1, Episode 1, being played by Cameron Johnson, which is set on Earth 1 as well. Then 2 years later, in 2013, we saw the creation of a new team called Justice League of America, which is separate from the regular Justice League. This team had 3 characters who have either appeared or have been mentioned in the Arrowverse. The first of which is Tatsu Yamashiro, aka Katana, who has appeared on Earth 1 and debuted in Arrow Season 3, Episode 1, being played by Rila Fukushima. Then you have Catwoman, who in the Arrowverse would be Selena Kyle, who, although never appeared and not really technically mentioned, was hinted at, and you saw the name Selena K, which definitely would be Selena Kyle, in Arrow Season 7, Episode 9, during the Elseworlds crossover in the second part. Then there is Dr. Light, who would be Arthur Light, who was also a member of Justice League of America in 2013. He was mentioned in Arrow Season 2, Episode 19, but I doubt he will ever appear in the Arrowverse. 2014 saw two villains actually joining the Justice League, one of whom is Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor debuted in Supergirl Season 2, Episode 12 as a kid, but it wasn't until Supergirl Season 4, Episode 15 where he debuted as an adult, being played by John Cryer. Lex Luthor was the main villain of Supergirl Season 4, and he was on Earth 38. He's actually the only main villain in the entirety of the Arrowverse to also be a member of the Justice League in the comics at least once, so I think that is pretty impressive. Then you have Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold, who along with Lex Luthor also joined the Justice League, I'm pretty sure at the exact same time. In the Arrowverse, there are two different versions of this character. First, there's the Earth 1 version, played by Wentworth Miller, debuting in The Flash Season 1, Episode 4, being a supporting character on Legends of Tomorrow. And then you have the Earth X version, which is Leonard Snart as well, but he goes by Leo Snart and goes by Citizen Cold, who is also played by Wentworth Miller, and he is from Earth X, debuting in The Flash Season 4, Episode 8. Now, there are two more characters, or really three more characters to go over in this video, but I think it's very fitting that we're ending with characters who joined the Justice League through the Rebirth version of Justice League of America, because if you don't know, this team is actually modeled largely after the Arrowverse. There's a lot of characters like Killer Frost, Black Canary, the Ray, Vixen, a couple other characters who are only members of this team because they are pretty significant in the Arrowverse. There are others like Batman and Lobo who aren't significant in the Arrowverse, but a lot of the members of the team, and this has been confirmed by people behind DC, that this is very, very inspired by characters from the Arrowverse. So I think it's very fitting that this is where we're ending off. In 2017, Dinah Drake, aka the Black Canary, joined Justice League of America. Now, I did mention Black Canary earlier, but that was the Dinah Lance version, while Dinah Drake, who before the New 52 was Dinah Lance's mother, afterwards became the main Black Canary in the present day, joined the Justice League, or didn't join the Justice League until 2017 with Justice League of America. In the Arrowverse, she's played by Juliana Harkavy and debuted in Arrow Season 5, Episode 10. She's a supporting character in every season since Season 5 on Earth 1. Another member of Justice League of America in DC Rebirth is Ryan Choi, aka The Atom, who has never appeared on Arrow to this date, but in Season 5, Episode 1 of The Flash, was mentioned as the creator of the first version of the Season 5 costume for The Flash, and although we don't know if he's the Atom, we can assume that he was on the future.
He was on the show.
The final character to go over here is Caitlin Snow, aka Killer Frost, who is also a member of Justice League of America, debuting in 2017. Actually going by Frost because she had she turned over a new leaf, becoming a hero, mostly because of the Arrowverse doing the same thing to the character. But Caitlin Snow, aka Killer Frost, debuted in The Flash Season 1, Episode 1, being played by Daniel Panabaker as a supporting character on Earth 1. After that, there was also Caitlin Snow, aka Killer Frost, from Earth 2, who was mostly a villain, although there was a little bit of a hero going on there, also played by Daniel Panabaker, and debuting in The Flash Season 2, Episode 13. So that is every single member of the Justice League in the comics to have ever appeared in the Arrowverse. Let me know if I missed one or two, and let me know which characters from the Justice League who haven't appeared yet do you want to appear, and which members of the Justice League are the best characters in the Arrowverse. Obviously, you have...
That's a lot.
That was a lot of information.
Yeah, that was almost too much information.
Yeah.
So with that though, who would you say is your favorite Justice League character, Julie?
Oh wow, there's a lot. I couldn't really put my finger on a favorite, but I've always liked the three main ones: Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And then that
you can't forget Flash.
Well, yeah, Flash is good too.
And Aquaman.
I'm Flash right now. But yeah,
Aquaman is a big part too.
Oh yeah, but we can't forget about Martian Manhunter.
Character.
Killer Frost.
Killer Frost, yeah. You can't forget about Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter is my favorite DC character of all time, probably.
Yeah. And I know that Elmster was saying that Flash was one of his favorites.
Yeah, Flash,
And one of the
Flash
comments.
is a legend. Like,
Now,
Flash,
did you know
amazing.
that Martian Manhunter in Supergirl took the face, like made him look like the cyborg Superman?
Did she?
Yes, he did. Martian
I did
Manhunter
not know
did.
that.
Yeah, it's in the Supergirl show.
I'll have to finish watching that because I watched a whole bunch of it, but I never ended up finishing it.
Well, okay. So if I remember correctly, it was either season 1 or season 2 when it gets talked about.
Oh, then I saw it.
Yeah, but out of all the Arrowverse shows, you can't forget about Stargirl. You can't forget about Superman and Lois.
Oh yeah.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow's Boss.
Arrow, The Flash. Then you got Black Lightning, which surprisingly was not in that video. He does show up in the Arrowverse. Let's see. Then you have Vixen, who gets her own animated show. The Freedom Fighters, which has the Ray and a bunch of others. So yeah, all those shows are great. But Barry Allen all day, The Flash.
Oh yeah. The Flash show was amazing.
Now, Kid Flash, Wally West, does not become the Flash on the Flash. He just stays Kid Flash.
Okay.
Which sucks because in the comics he becomes the Flash.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. What do we got here, crew?
Well, this is our merch page. We have anything you can think of. And the t-shirts are 25% off. And these are different logos. Rob, why don't you go over the logos this time? You normally do. But
So on the top row we have the official "Don't Forget to Look Up" T-shirt for the Robert and Crew show. It's the first one with the galaxies and everybody looking up. Then we have our Robert and Crew show Saturn Worship. We don't actually Saturn worship, but it's a play on a lot of the conspiracy world. They believe it all runs on Saturn worship, so we have a shirt for it. And then we have the Robert and Crew Show Space logo with a spaceship flying by Earth. And then we have the Jupiter Robert and Crew Show tee. Then we have the Crewinator from our Skynet series for Crew. And then we have Crew's Reptilian Politician. And then we have Crew's Nibiru Alien series. These two shirts is because Crew is from Nibiru. He's a clone. And then we got the Bigfoot from outer space. We got Bigfoot and Yeti playing games. We got our Robert and Crew Show Pharaoh logo. We got Art Throughout the Ages. Two of those. That was a great episode. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Then we have our Season 7 Cryptid logo, our Season 6 logo, and our alien smoking a cigarette all the way back from Season 3. So if you're interested in merch or anything like that, that would be pretty awesome, and it's a way to support our show if you enjoy what we do. Also, if you enjoyed the show tonight, like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your best friend. Share it with whoever you think would enjoy it. And then finally, before we kick off and leave here, I have this last thing to show. Crew, what is this?
This is our Venmo link. It's a if you want to, not have to. We do what we, but like Robert said, like, subscribe, share with your friends. We do this for y'all. Tune in, tune out each and every day. Sometimes we take a break.
Like this weekend, we're actually not going to have a show tomorrow, and there's not going to be a show on Saturday. There may or may not be one on Sunday. We'll announce it on the Facebook page in the early hours of Sunday morning. Yep. But until then, much love from the Robert and Crew Show. Peace.
Can you believe Season 7 just keeps getting wilder? Thanks for tuning in, podcast pals. From ghost stories to headline news and epic Euro travel, we've covered it all, plus a side of laughs. Don't miss out. Hit subscribe and join us next time for more news, thrills, and adventures. See you soon.